Hey everyone, welcome to Kingmaker. Today I'm going to be making a Frax Finance video. If you guys like the material, please like and subscribe down below. We could really appreciate it. Give me your feedback and what other videos you like to see, and I hope you enjoy the video. Hello everyone, this is the presentation that I made. So today I'm going to be going over all the aspects of the Frax ecosystem, from the share tokens to the stablecoin and CPI inflation hedge, and then upcoming developments such as Frax Swap and Fraxland. I'm not going to be going over point by point in detail such as the documents, because then what would be the point. I'm just going to try to make this short and simpler for you guys to understand. So today I'm going to be starting with the Frax Stablecoin. So the main points about Frax Stablecoin is, well, it's a stablecoin, right? But it's an I can't pronounce the word. It's one of the last standing algorithmic there you go. It's one of the last standing algorithmic stablecoins left. They are basically really trustworthy. The way Sam designed it is really well. With V2, it's controlled by an AMO. Basically what that is the autonomous market operator. I think that's the abbreviation, but basically allows the smart contracts in the system to do all the V1 operations automatically. As you see here, I have the Frax stablecoin here and like little arrows. My bad if my writing is not the best, but I think you guys will get the idea. So here like I said, didn't put it verbatim, but it can mint and redeem more Frax depending what is needed from the protocol. The way it works is that the more that the stablecoin goes above peg, it will lower the collateral ratio, and it will instead add more FXX, and if it goes below peg, it will add more collateral. So in that way it can go, and it always stays on peg, so more get burned. So there's multiple ways so the FXX gets revenue from this. So the higher demand that there is, the more gets burned. The success of the protocol and the token, basically, they have the collateral working for them. They don't have it sitting idly in the treasury. So the USDC gets put in different protocols, so it can be put in like lending, Curve, Uniswap, even though there's a proposal out that they're depleting the Uniswap pool or gauge. I believe 50% of that is gonna go and get burned forever, and that's basically for all mechanisms that they have in place. The only thing that they don't is that in the Curve AMOs and the Uniswap AMOs, the trading fees that they have, I think that they can keep the fee in order to make more profit or increase their positions in protocols such as Curve and CVX. But all the interest earned in lending protocols and in each pool engaged gets sent between these two. So 50% get burnt, 50% gets paid back to VEFXX holders, and the protocol has the right to reinvest profits when it makes sense. Obviously the DAO wants to do what's best for the protocol, but it's up to them in their discretion. Another part about the stablecoin is that in lending protocols such as Cream or Aave, they can go and they can make more Frax. They can use their AMO to mint more Frax if there's enough demand for it, just because there's collateral backing it. They can have that as a way to mint more Frax in the protocol. So those are the main points. So they have a couple different ways to be burned. As you see, the interest here, the more success the protocol has with the stable coins, the more that gets minted, so the more FXX is needed, and the more that the price goes above a certain the limits. They have two limits, lower, above and below, but I don't know the exact decimal points. But the more it goes above the limit, it goes and adds more FXX backing to the protocol, so they have different ways to get it off the market, and the more success, the better the protocol will be. Hello everyone. So I decided I'm gonna go on the website to go over the layout and how you get to the info and all that. Even though they did a good job and is actually pretty straightforward, right here they have the Frax distribution AMOs, and they can tell you the majority where it's at. So you can see here's Curve, then liquidity AMOs, and then just goes down from there. Each one actually has a lot of really good info, such as the percent algorithmic, and then you can see in each one they have Frax, FXS, the collateral ratio Frax, and then they go to FPI and FPIS. Each one having a little slider, so you can go and choose which one you want to see. Do the different sliders, but each one has a different slider you can see here with different categories. One thing that I noticed is that the website is missing a chart that they brought up in the documents. So they FPI is going to follow a similar format as FPI. It should have a chart here. I forgot the abbreviation, but it's going to be a chart about how much is algorithmic. So FPI is going to go through the same setup, algorithmic. It's not a stable coin because it follows the CPI index. I don't know if that's the right word, but it's CPI. But right here, I'm assuming in the future is going to be that chart showing how much algorithmic and how much has collateral backing it. In this case would be Frax. Every FPI is made up of Frax stablecoins. So I thought that'll be something really interesting that you guys will like to see. Also, I know in a bit I'm going to be showing you Frax Swap, so I might as well show it to you now. This is how it looks like, and the right side is not loading, but oh, there it is. Now you can see it. So this is the info that they have on the right side. My wallet's not connected, but here's the TWAMM that Sammy from Frax said that, not Sammy, Sam from Frax said that he's really excited about. So you can see right here the platform fee, how long you want the period in hours to go. You can see it actually goes for a really long time, which I'm sure a lot of people are gonna appreciate. I know the main examples that he used were for DAOs, but I'm sure a lot of other people are gonna find this interesting as well, things that they could use this for. I actually didn't even know this myself, but they have a wide selection of things that you can swap into. The next point that I'm going to go here is FPI. So the FPI is an inflation hedge stablecoin. It's always pegged to CPI. So basically what they mean by that is the US government goes and release the yearly inflation. They go and divide that up by 12 months or like something along those lines. But basically this is a new system that Sam put into place. So that you always keep the same purchasing power, and in the future it follows CPI. But in the future, no, right now they follow CPI. But in the future, what they want to do is that they want to add they can add more ways to the system. They can add more dynamics to it, like that can be put up from governance and everything. But that is something that they haven't explored yet. The main two mandates is to maintain the FPI peg. So the protocol built in, the AMO built in, it has to maintain the FPI peg, and the value has to accrue to FPIS, and in turn the Frax share token. So in this ecosystem, the way they explain it is the same way that ETH gets some of the profit from the success of the other protocols that built on top of it. Some of it goes back to ETH. That's the same logic that they apply here. A variable amount of the profit will go back to FXS. So if you specifically think that FPIS, that system in their ecosystem is undervalued, it would make more sense to invest in that share token. But if you're just bullish, or you think their whole ecosystem as a whole is undervalued, then it would make more sense to go for the other one. But in turn, if you want to have exposure to this new system, then it would just make more sense to hold the Frax share token. And I have here the same little diagram here explaining FPIS would get the excess yield generated from the collateral. So the collateral, the protocol will go, and the collateral and the protocol will go and earn yield out in DeFi. And in DeFi, when they earn the yield, it's gonna go back to keep the peg of the protocol. Excess yield will go to FPIS, and it will go to the form of revenue. Frax share token will go and get variable yield, the variable amount of yield from that. So that's how both of them profit. The downside is the same. It works similar to Frax. So if they were able to make enough like interest or profit to maintain the peg, they're gonna go and mint more FPIS, and they're gonna go sell it on the market so they can keep the peg. That's the main thing that they try to care about. They care mainly about keeping the peg of the protocol and keeping that same reputation. Yeah, so it follows a similar dynamic to Frax. This system has a similar collateral ratio, but from what I can tell, they don't have it in the system yet or on the website. But the system that they have in place is the Frax collateral ratio. So this also goes by an algorithmic, like stablecoin method, basically. So I don't know what's the ratio right now. I'm assuming over time it's going to be more backed from the governance token of the ecosystem, and it's going to follow the same dynamic as Frax. Sam said in a lot of his podcasts and interviews, in case you don't follow, that a lot of the mechanisms are similar, and the collateral doesn't have to be directly USDC, but that's the main thing that they changed for now. That's something that that can change in the future. Frax is backed by USDC and other things, but predominantly USDC. The stablecoin that backs FPI is Frax. USDC and the governance share token emits more Frax, and then Frax is used to maintain the FPI peg. Another part of the ecosystem is Frax Swap. So Frax Swap is something that Sam has been working on for a while, and he's something he was excited about. It seems like in the documents, what he feels like the main people are going to use this are probably aggregators, but in the same time, it's mainly going to be DAOs. So the way he sees people using this is DAO to DAO, or like DAOs themselves to manage their own treasury over time, since they have so much money to not lose in slippage. People or DAOs can dollar cost average over time using their system, and they have arbitrage bots that goes and make sure that the price for Frax Swap is the same as other AMMs. So they have that built. He said he had that built in from the start, or it's already there. So it's always going to be the same price as other AMMs. And I have screenshots here of how it looks like. I don't know the max amount that it could be. That's something I'll have to see in the future. But you can see here they have a slider that you can extend it, and in the AMM is similar. But the information here on the right, as you can see here, how much is getting sold by the hour and other information like that. But it's pretty straightforward. You've probably seen this before. DopeX has one as well, but those are the only two that I know of so far in the ecosystem. So I think this is pretty straightforward. You guys messed with AMMs before. The main thing here that people are probably confused with is the TWAMM, which is actually really interesting. I think a lot of protocols are gonna go and use the system. I know Olympus Finance, they're already using it already for their treasury. I'm gonna go now into Fraxland, which is a new one that they haven't released yet, but this is the information that we have so far. So by the time this comes out, or like hopefully months in the future, this covers a decent amount of what it's going to be about. So they're going to release Fraxland here in the coming weeks or months. They're going to release a lending protocol, and the lending protocol, so it has the same capabilities. It can have basic collateral, or it can have interest earning yield tokens. And that's one thing that he brought up in one of his interviews, is that he used a 3 curve as an example. So if you deposit 3 curve into the Fraxland protocol, then you can go and borrow, and then you can earn interest on that deposit. So this is going to be a new way for them to earn interest and mint more Frax and FPI into the market, which I think is actually really bullish. Is something that it makes complete sense. A lot of people reference them as the central bank, so I think it makes complete sense that they're gonna have a lending system put into place. The lend, and I put here the lend. So the lending interest that they get from people using the protocol. Oh, I think my pen died. My bad, guys. But I'm basically getting to the end now. So basically, as you see here, I put in the directly bottom the lending interest that they get from people using the lending protocol. The interest will go to accrued interest, and they will show in the front page of the app. But long story short, the interest will go over to the Frax share token. That's what he said, at least at the moment. So I think it's gonna get the majority of the profit from there, because it's the first governance token. FPIS, I don't think is gonna get anything. The success of the stablecoin means is like in giant part how profitable the ecosystem is gonna be. Another thing that I didn't put here, but I think it'll be a nice shout out, is also Frax ETH. Doing something kind of similar to Lido's, that you can make your ETH work for you through the Frax ecosystem. And I think that's something that's going to be really bullish. One, because like right now they have a lot of stables and all that, but they do have the largest treasury in all of DeFi, I'm pretty sure. And I think they will be able to attract a lot of attention and a lot of use from people who really support this ecosystem to go stake their ETH with them, and a new way for them to source money. So it seems like right now the Frax Swap doesn't have any fees on it. They don't charge any fees, but Fraxland and Frax ETH would be, I think, are interesting new ways they're going to be able to add more interest and profit to the protocol. And I think you can see in the ecosystem as a whole as well, that they provide the best interest rates right now. Like they team up with Curve and Convex, but like regardably is still in the same ecosystem, and they provide some of the best interest rates in mainnet, at least. Arbitrum is a different story, but they provide some of the best interest rates. So I definitely see this as a big bonus for the protocol. But if there's anything I didn't go over today, or anything that that you have questions, please let me know. I didn't go over too deep into the Frax ETH just because he mentioned it, but he didn't go too deep into detail that I'm aware of. So maybe sometime in the future I'll go and remake this video and do an update one, and just link the previous one so I can just go straight to the point. But if there's anything that you want me to go over again, or if there's any flaws, let me know.